キャンディさん、今回は貴重な時間をいただきましてありがとうございます。いよいよ日本語版のこのブラックアウトが発刊されまして、で初のインタビューということでですね、一番最初のサインもいただいたということで、これからキャンディさんのインタビューをスタートしたいと思います。では最初にこのブラックアウト、この本書に込められたタイトルの意味についてぜひ教えてください。どんな思いを込めてこの本書かれたんでしょうか。
The meaning of blackout is really an exit from the leftist narrative. Within America, it's become all about race. You see this if you're watching the media. There is this perpetuated lie that Black Americans are suffering because America is a fundamentally racist country. In reality, what racism is simply a mechanism which yields a lot of power for people that want it, and the left wants power. So they are after all sorts of divisions: men versus women, black versus white, tall versus short, rich versus poor. And at the core of that really is just Marxist ideology. A government that wants full power needs to make sure that the people that they govern over are permanently divided.
なるほど。このブラックアウトという言葉の意味には、まさに黒人を脱出せよという意味と、もう一つ二重の意味があるというふうに伺ったんですけど、何かもう一つの意味もあるんでしたっけ？
Yeah, the double meaning.
Yes.
Yeah, we were focused on the double meaning of it. Of like when you turn the lights off. And within America, I loved the double meaning of like blacking out from a certain narrative, like turning the lights off and saying, really enough is enough on this. And so for me, it was really important that Black Americans would just see the world for as it actually was. And in so many ways, we have just been used as a plot line and a pawn, as I mentioned earlier, for people to be able to garner power for themselves. And I think that until we expose the lie, rather, America is not going to become stable because they are hungry. The power class, the elite class is hungry to keep this narrative alive. Race in America is a business. That is the only way to say it. People have to understand it is a business, and that corporate America is obsessed with keeping this business alive.
ありがとうございます。こうした本を書かれたり、そして非常に精力的にご自身の YouTube 番組ですとか、それからサイトを立ち上げて保守活動、黒人の方に向けて、今では黒人を超えて全米に向けて非常に大きな影響力を発揮しておられますけれども、あなたがこうした活動、著書も含めて活動しようと思った大きなパッションというか動機についてぜひ聞きたいです。
The passion comes from awakening from a lie. The passion comes from my entire life believing the lie that was sold to me via the propaganda media in collusion with the Department of Education, the federal government controlling what's happening in the classrooms. You arise out of that sort of public brainwashing and you believe that, oh, liberals must be telling the truth, they must be wanting you to be more free, but in reality what they want for you is to be more dependent upon the government. That is the express goal of leftism in our country. And when I woke up from that lie, and fortunately it was Donald Trump's election when he first ran that woke me up from the lie. When I woke up from it, I was furious. I was angry at first, very angry that they would want people to do badly, to perform badly in their own lives, that they would want people to be harmed in their own lives so that they could have more power over them. And I was shocked that me, myself, had fallen for this lie, that I was a victim of this brainwashing. And eventually I was able to convert that anger into passion, and I said I want to be the loudest voice in Black America against this lie. I'm willing to fall on every single sword. I'm willing to be called every single name because I want people to have access to the truth, and I want to give them their lives back so that they don't have their lives stolen in the way that mine was stolen from me.
ありがとうございます。先ほどのそのプロパガンダという意味では、我々日本人も含めて世界のほとんどの人は、あれ？民主党っていうのは黒人の味方で、共和党は白人主義で、なんで黒人の人が民主党ではなくて共和党保守を応援するだろうと非常に不思議に思うのですが、民主党というのは黒人の味方ではないんですか？実際はどうなんでしょうか？
And they never have been, and so that's a big part of this is that people don't understand that because they have so much power in the media, they've actually been able to obscure even their own history. If you actually go back and study slavery in America, if you go back and you study Jim Crow laws, segregation, It was always the Democrats that were behind all of it. And then they made a shift in the 60s and decided to pretend that they were championing Black Americans via government policy, when in reality they were destroying Black American families. Welfarism has destroyed Black America, without question. Black Americans today face high criminality rates, and it's all linked to the destruction of the Black family, the removal of the Black man from the household, and the corrosion of Black culture. What you're seeing, what they support, women being indecent and exposed, the music that we're exposed to. This is all being perpetuated by design by the left, being told that this is supposed to render us more free, when in fact it's only enslaved us even further. The education system. You have in California, as just one example, 75% of Black boys cannot pass a basic literacy exam. In Baltimore, an inner city, again, controlled by Democrats, across 5 schools, not a single Black child is proficient in reading and writing. So it's a slow slavery, and they do it via policies. But they have always been the enemy of Black America, but they control the media. So all of us believe in this lie that they champion minorities, when in fact they have always hated us.
まさにあれですね、みんなが今まで本物だと信じていた世界が実は偽物だったということを今大きくその世界に発信していただいたわけですが、それでもう一つじゃついでに言いますと、アメリカの黒人を地位を高める運動で BLM ブラックライブズマターというのは非常に有名ですけれども、あなたはブラックライブズマター BLM についても非常にその注意深く嘘を暴いてこられました。 BLM の正体と真実について簡単に教えていただけますでしょうか。
So what BLM is they are the soldiers of the Democrat Party. Their job is to every election cycle cause disruption and to create a race narrative in the media that forces Black Americans to react emotionally rather than rationally at the polls, to believe that the most important issue on the ballot pertains to race, and somehow if you vote for Democrats, they're going to make it better. The truth is that Democrats and the left believe that Black Americans are stupid. In fact, every effort that they make is to ensure that Black Americans are the dumbest race in America. As we just discussed, the illiteracy rates amongst Black Americans, the math rates amongst Black Americans. So they supplement the lack of education. What happens if you're not educated? Well, think of a toddler, right? I have a 15-month at home. Well, he's not educated because he's only 15 months. So when he wants something, he cries and he screams and he stomps. He can only react emotionally because he's not educated. That's what the Democrat Party wants for Black Americans, to remain toddlers, to always be 15 months old, to not be able to rationally think, to not be able to understand policies, to just go, look, 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 Black man dead, this is bad, vote for me. It is incredibly patronizing. It is sad, but I do believe that Black Americans are beginning to wake up to the lie that is Black Lives Matter, which is really a white supremacist lie, a white supremacist operation meant to keep Black Americans dumb.
ありがとうございます。で、その真実を世界の人とかが知らないというもう一つの意味では、世界中の人はトランプ大統領のことをもう本当に頭のおかしな非常に危険な人物だというふうに言ってますけれども、あなたはまずご自身の番組にトランプ大統領を呼ぶぐらいの方なので、トランプの実像をよくご存知だと思います。キャンディスさんの目から見て、トランプが成してきた4年間の評価というものをどのようにご覧になるでしょうか。
What you can almost always guarantee is that any individual that the media is attacking is a person that they have no control over. Any person that they are giving a platform to and they're saying is amazing, it's somebody that they have full control over. They hated Trump because he disrupted the control that they had in DC. That's the truth. And so they attacked him from every angle. I mean, you had a guy who before he ran for president was loved in the media. He was on TV. He had his own shows. And then overnight they converted him into a rapist, a racist, a sexist, a chauvinist, a homophobe, all of these things that they apparently had no idea until he ran for president of the United States. So that's what his presidency was symbolic of. It was fighting back against the establishment. It was fighting back against American Pravda, against the propaganda. And so I can tell you, obviously, that what he does represent is somebody that is strong enough to endure those attacks. on the pathway to freedom, in realizing that Americans, despite the illusion of America and the West being this free country, we were edging closer and closer towards a Marxist establishment. Very few people had amassed a lot of control, and they were able to do that because most of us were asleep and not recognizing that it was coming into our country like a thief in the night. And right now, you're seeing people that are fighting for freedom. Those are the people that the press is telling you are white supremacists. They call me a white supremacist, you know? A white supremacist, we're being called racist and all of these things, but in reality what we want is freedom. We want our families to not be under attack, and we want the government to stay out of our lives.
そう、私が一番あなたの著書を読んで響くのも、本当に保守主義の根幹である自由というものをすごく追求されている。そのために大きく活動が展開されているんだということを強く感じているところにとても共鳴しています。もうこれで最後2つの質問なんですけど、1つ目、今後のあなたの活動の展望についてどんなビジョンを持ってこれからの人生を送っていかれるか、これからの活動を展開していかれるか、未来ビジョンについて差し支えない範囲で教えてください。
Well, I'm 8 months pregnant, so I think having a baby is up next. Yeah, more family. People always ask me if I'm going to get, more involved in politics, and I don't even see myself as a politician. I'm just a person that's telling the truth, and I'm blessed that I've been given a platform to do so. I always say if God calls upon me to run for office, then I will do that. But at the moment, I'm insistent upon raising a good family and inspiring other people to have the courage to do that, inspiring other people to have the courage to speak out when something is wrong. And, but for me, my day-to-day is dictated by just wanting to live in a free society and wanting to make sure that the free society that I grew up in is still here for my children. But also to go to Japan so I can have ramen, because I'm obsessed with Japanese ramen. Like, it's a problem in New York City. I used to eat there like 6 times a week. So that's also on my to-do list for my future.
もう最後に日本の視聴者、読者へのメッセージをぜひお願いします。
Yeah, just first and foremost, I've just been very grateful about the reception that I've had to be able to share my ideas overseas. It really is a great honor. So I just thank you to every single person that is following along this journey and understanding that irrespective of whether we speak the same language, we are all always fighting the same battles. We all know these inconvertible truths. We know the importance of family. We know that we don't want government monitoring every aspect of our lives. We know that individual freedoms can only be protected when we recognize truths and we don't accept lies. So I would be absolutely honored to come speak in Japan. I have made a guarantee that within these next 2 years, I'm definitely going to come visit. And I'm hopeful that I will meet you all when I'm there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.